Hey folks, Chuck here. This is a video response, my first one, to this guy named Sherwulff or something like that. I found him through watching a video from Barklord, and he has asked that people tell about road trips. And I have gone on many, many road trips. I've also tried to make this video like 10 times about a road trip out to California from Boston, and I can't condense it to 10 minutes. So I'm going to tell of this road trip, this particular one I went on in 1989 or 1988, about 20 years ago. I was alone, on a lone trip, and I was on my VF1000R Honda motorcycle, which is a race replica motorcycle, but it was still very comfortable. I still own it, as a matter of fact. So I leave Boston, and I don't like to take highways as much as I can. I like to stay off of them. So I take almost back roads all the way down to New York City, past that, across the Washington Bridge into New Jersey, and I'd never spent any time in New Jersey. And I found the coast road of New Jersey absolutely beautiful. I never realized how beautiful New Jersey was. So I'm going down, and this whole trip I stayed in motels at the time, had a little bit of extra money, and it makes it so I can ride a little longer each day without having to set up a tent and stuff like that. So I'm staying in, you know, pretty cheap motels, actually trying to make a game out of the cheapest motel I can find. So I'm getting towards the, you know, 2/3 of the way down New Jersey, take a detour into Lakehurst, New Jersey, because I'd always been interested in the whole Hindenburg disaster thing. So I go to the base that the Hindenburg hangar is at, and where the Hindenburg came down. I get there, I see the hangar from like 5 miles away. It's so enormous, you see it from miles away. Find it, park, find out that visitors, at least at this time, were not allowed to go on to the base. They did allow groups. So I'm like, you know, shit, man, I really want to see this. Well, there's a whole group of Boy Scouts, or Cub Scouts actually, going in, and I just get behind them and walk in. And no one noticed me going in with them, so that was kind of cool. Got the whole tour of the hangar, which is just immense. It's like 30 aircraft in this hangar. It's the biggest open building I've ever seen in my life. And then someone noticed, I think one of the Cub masters said, what are you doing here? And it's like, I wanted to see the hangar, and I told the guy, you know, they weren't supposed to let me in, but just please pretend I'm with you. And he goes, that's fine, that's fine. Go out onto the tarmac where there's a little plaque where the Hindenburg actually came down. It was really quite moving. That was a really nice experience. Spent a few hours there, actually. Back onto the bike, and down to Cape May, which is a really nice town at the tip of New Jersey, and take the, I'm looking at a map right now to remind me, so I take the Lou Mays ferry over to Delaware, and that was really, really nice. Then all really beautiful back roads, all the way down to the bottom of Maryland, and over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, which I found spectacular. Longest bridge I'd ever been on at that point. Never seen anything like it. It was like 17 miles long. That goes very close to Virginia Beach. And so then from the bottom of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, I start heading northwest until, and that was actually a couple of days. In fact, there's a funny story. I stayed at this motel about halfway to Front Royal, which is where I wanted to sort of go, and I found this motel for $12 a night, and there's like a smokehouse bar attached to it. Well, you know, the motel's a dump, but the bed looked clean enough. It had a TV, and like I said, I was trying to find motels, the cheapest motels I could find. So I go to the barbecue smokehouse, and you know, I'm stoned out of my mind. I smoked a big spliffy in the room. So I go into into the restaurant, and I get this platter of barbecue, you know, they're smoking out back, and it's delicious. So I'm there eating it, and I'm looking around while I'm eating, and I'm noticing the bar area. This is like a local hardcore bar. You know, these guys are really drunk. They're locals. They're out of work. So I'm almost done with my dinner, and all of a sudden, bottle flies past my face, and the bar erupts into this beer bottle smashing, glass smashing fight where everyone is, basically it seemed like everyone was fighting. Take 2 more bites of food, leave my money, and I'm not kidding you, get on my hands and knees and crawl around the corner and out the door right to my room, which I can see the front of this bar, and it's spilling out onto the street, you know. So my motorcycle is really beautiful motorcycle, so I had to pull that up onto the sidewalk right outside of my motel window, moved my bed over to the window, and I tied a thin rope or cord from the motorcycle and tied it onto my foot. In case someone tried to steal my motorcycle, I would know what was going on. So that's what you get for $12. So go up to Front Royal, which is the starting point of the Skyline Drive and the Blue Ridge Parkway, all the way down to South Carolina, you know. And the Skyline Drive on a motorcycle, I mean, it is made for motorcycles. It was absolutely gorgeous, and I had the insight to rent one of the cabins inside the national park for 2 nights, but I had like 3 nights before I could stay at that cabin. So I'm tooling up and down the Skyline Drive, and I'm staying in little towns just outside of the national park, and I mean, it was just absolutely gorgeous. Spent my 2 nights at my cabin, and I mean, the nature and stuff at Shenandoah is just, I mean, I was at a rest stop alone, and it's, you know, with sunset, and I'm going to go back to my cabin, and I'm sitting there, and like a deer comes out of the woods, and we just sat there looking at I sat, the deer was standing, looking at each other for like 15 minutes, no panic on the animal part, or it was absolutely beautiful. So then followed the Blue Ridge Parkway all the way down to just about Raleigh, actually, well, through North Carolina, almost all the way through, then back up the whole way right to Front Royal, and then back roads basically to Washington, which was really, really nice. I'd only been to Washington when I was a little kid at that point. And then, you know, beelined at home. And the trip took 3 weeks. It was about a 2,500 mile trip, and it was fantastic. That's one of them. Thanks for asking. I liked hearing your story, and I like telling about my road trips because I got a lot of them. So, talk to you later.